It is overtime here again at Old Favorite Friday, and I have a beer from Rochefort. This is a Rochefort 8. Rochefort has three kind of main beers you can find here in the States. You have the 6, the 8, and the 10. We've talked about the 10, which is kind of a true quadruple up around, I think, 11% alcohol or a high 10% in alcohol. But if we're looking at my favorites, I think I prefer the 8. And the reason for that, it comes a little bit lower in ABV at 9.2%. But I find that the balance of the flavors, from my personal preference, is just a little bit less sweet. And I get more earthiness out of that. I get a little more yeast flavor out of it than that really more intense, like kind of dried fig and dark fruit flavor. There's a place and time for all of that. If you ask most people, out of all the Trappist beers out there, I think a lot of people think Rochefort 10 is the most underrated. If we look at like the West Belgian beers and how like West Belgian 12, how hard it is to get your hands on it. I think Rochefort 10 is kind of like the backup for a lot of people, or some people actually think it might be better than West Belgian 12. But I think the 8 doesn't get the love and respect that it so rightfully deserves, which is what Old Favorite Friday is all about. As far as the flavor profile goes, once again, we're getting those earthy flavors, the deep richness, the caramelization, the brown sugar, subtle hints of toffee, banana, fig, but balanced out by the kind of yeast phenol profile of like clove and a little bit of spice box. It's dry. This is a dry beer at 9.2%. It doesn't drink like 9.2%. And this is one of those beers that you can just, there's a million foods that you can pair with this beer. It goes so well. This is one of those beers that's kind of designed to be paired with food. As incredible as it is, especially as it warms up a little bit, I talk about this a lot, is that warm this beer up and you're gonna get even more of that fruit expression, that spice expression that comes out of the yeast. And this is one of the beers that really tells, this is one of the beers that when you talk about why Belgian beers are so impressive, when you talk about why Belgian beers matter so much, this is a brewery and a beer that you can point to and say, this is the reason. This is the kind of flavor complexity you're looking for in a beer like this. Once again, dry enough. This beer was first created in 1955, so it's been around for a long time. But the brewery has been brewing beer since the 1800s. So when it comes to Old Favorite Friday, you don't get many more beers that fit into that category as well as this one. I talked about food pairings a second ago. What I would do with this, and there's tons of recommendations, once again, you can go with this, but I'm gonna take a Belgian beer and go with an American classic, pot roast. Pot roast with carrots and potatoes. You have the earthiness of the vegetables, but also the sweetness. And that sweetness, because this beer is dry, it's going to balance that out really, really well and bring out some of those sweeter fig and raisin flavors that are kind of underlying inside this beer. And then the richness factor of it. This is a big, rich beer at 9.2%, but still dry enough, but it's going to balance out the fattiness of the pot roast. Really bring out those like caramelized and like Maillard flavors when you get a nice sear on the pot roast before it goes into the Dutch oven to cook for a long time. I think it'll work really, really well together. But I'd love to hear any kind of recommendations that you guys have, what you would do with a nice Belgian Dark Strong Ale for food. Well, thank you guys very much for joining us as always. Please poke around the channel, see other videos about incredible classic beers just like this one, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.